The man in front asked, confused, what? Who did you say you are? Jang Cheon replied calmly, Jang Cheon. People once called me the demonic god. The young man laughed. Demonic god? Boring title. Might as well say you're the king of hell. This rude youth was Cheon Dubo, second son of the Cheon Ga Merchant Guild. The boy beside Jang Cheon muttered, of all times, now. The little girl groaned. A woman stepped forward. Your madness is getting worse. She tapped her fan and said the Hwa clan's fate was doomed with such an air. She claimed she said it out of family ties and for their own good. This was Bu Ian, head of the Cheon Ga Guild. She smacked her fan on her palm. Nothing left to say. Silence means yes. She turned and added, 5th day next month, we settle it. Her son, Cheon Dubo, looked back at Jang Cheon. We'll meet at Flying Shadow Pavilion. A warrior's promise. Break it, and you know what happens, right, demonic god Jang Cheon? They left. The girl watched them go and whined, they decided everything themselves. What will we do? You've never even swung a sword right. Jang Cheon looked down at them and muttered, have I really never swung one? He tried to gather his inner energy. Nothing came. He laughed bitterly. I can still feel some strength. But then he froze. He shouted in shock, no energy at all. He bent down, frustrated. These weak bones can't even hold a weapon. The weakness appalled him. The girl screamed, stop. He stared at her. Tears filled her eyes. Please, snap out of it. Even crazy, no one stays calm after that unless they're a fool. The boy frowned and scolded her. Apologize. Don't insult your brother. She shook her head, crying harder. No. Mom and Dad died because of him. The words hit Jang Cheon like a blow. The girl ran off. The boy stayed, tired. He might not remember. This happens a lot. Please understand. He bowed and left too. Jang Qian stood alone in the courtyard. Even the children treated him like a madman. Nothing made sense. He walked through the big, empty house, trying to understand. He clearly remembered cutting off the head of the Namgong clan leader and feeling a sword pierce his own heart. He had avenged Yan Hua and her little brother and sister. He should have died in peace. But when he passed a mirror, a completely different face looked back at him, young, pale, and weak. His legs gave out. He held his head and groaned. This could not be real. And who are those children resembling Suk and Young? I'm mad, she said. What nonsense is this? Suddenly a man ran toward him. Young master. Why are you outside? You are still sick. Jang Qian asked, who are you? The man looked sad and worried. The madness came again. My name is Maesok. I am a retainer of the Yonhwa clan. Let me explain, again. Maesok sighed. This is the 625th time I have told you this story. 17 years ago, when you were 6 years old, you were called Hua Mujin, the genius heir of the Yonhwa clan. Every righteous sect wanted you. You were only 23 and already famous. Jang Qian pushed his hand away. If I was so great, why is my body broken now? Masek looked down. 17 years ago, something terrible happened. He began to tell the story. 2 little boys were alone in a field while the adults were away. 6-year-old Hua Mujin and 9-year-old Chang Dabo bowed to each other. No inner energy, okay? Let's fight fairly, they promised. They started fighting with just their fists and feet. Both were fast and strong. I don't know who requested the duel first, but while the elders of both families were absent, the two of you fought one another. They even praised each other during the fight. As expected of Dabo, he's blocked every single strike. Mujin thought. Chasing Bobo also says you really are the promising genius admired by the orthodox sections. Such honest, unarmed skills. Mujin, after hearing that, felt nervously and questioned, what are you saying all of a sudden? Then Chang Dabo suddenly grinned and used inner energy. He hit Mujin with the deadly 7 wounds fist. Mujin flew through the air and crashed hard. Blood poured from his nose. Why did you use inner energy? Little Mujin asked, confused and hurt. Chang Dabo laughed. Because killing and testing new skills is fun. I already tried this punch on another boy, he's half dead now. Then again he raised his hand and going to hit again, then he hit Mujin again even harder. Masek finished the story with sad eyes. That is why everyone calls you mad. The 7 wounds fist destroyed your inner energy and your mind. Jang Qian understood at once. The same Chang Dabo who had ruined him as a child now came back as an adult to insult and challenge him. He asked, what happened to that bastard? Masek replied, Chang Dabo is the nephew of our clan head and the heir of one of the 10 richest merchant guilds. He only got a scolding. No real punishment. Jang Qian laughed coldly. What a useless family. He asked about his parents. Masek took him to the ancestral hall and pointed at 2 tablets. Your madness became worse every year. Your father borrowed huge amounts of money to find a cure. 9 years ago your mother died from illness. 3 years later your father died from debt and sadness. People said you were the child who ate his own parents. The clan fell apart. Now only debts, 2 old retainers, about 10 weak warriors, and your 2 little siblings remain, Hua Duin and Ha Soyen. Jiang Qian remembered So Soyen's earlier anger. He quietly admitted to himself that her family had been destroyed by a terrible illness, so it was natural for her to be so upset. That night, in Hua Mujin's room, he read many books. From them he learned that the demonic god Jiang Qian had truly died in the great battle against the 9 righteous sects, and 30 years had passed. Everything felt too real to be a dream. He finally accepted that he had taken over the body of the young heir of the Hua clan, Hua Mujin. He looked at hand-drawn pictures and letters from his new younger siblings. They wished him a quick recovery. Their kindness reminded him of children he once knew. He decided he would now live as Hua Mujin and try to protect these innocent children who had suffered so much. The biggest enemy was the Chonghua Merchant Guild. They were the ones who had crippled his body and ruined the clan. A duel against Chengde Dabo was set for the 5th day of next month. Before that, he needed to find a master and become a disciple. The problem was that he had to start martial arts training from the very beginning. As he sat in silence, he remembered how hard it had been to learn martial arts in his past life. Even breathing properly was painful at first. He slowly began to practice a basic breathing technique. To his surprise, this new body did not need the usual long process to feel QI. As soon as he closed his eyes, energy rushed in, qi gathered quickly in his lower abdomen and became wild and powerful. The whole room began to glow brighter and brighter. Suddenly, a loud boom shook the entire estate. Servants ran into the room in panic. They saw Hua Mujin lying unconscious on the floor. One servant thought he was dead and shouted in fear. When he checked again, he felt a strong pulse and muttered, "The young master. He's actually healthier than ever." At that moment, Hua Mujin's hands shot up and grabbed the servant's finger. He opened his eyes, groaned in pain, and said angrily, "Just forming a dantian hurt this much. What kind of body is this?" The servant, confused, answered, "Young master, a wandering Shaolin monk once said you have the heavenly martial constitution." Hua Mujin froze. The heavenly martial constitution was a legendary body blessed by heaven, perfect for righteous martial arts. Fury rose inside him. This body was completely unable to handle demonic cultivation. If he tried to use his old demonic techniques, the pain would be unbearable and could kill him. He coughed up blood violently. Another servant, Masek, knelt beside him and fanned him, crying, "Young master, please stay awake. Don't die." Through the pain, Hua Mujin noticed 2 older men standing nearby with cold faces. They whispered to each other that the young master was getting worse every day and they should prepare for the worst. Anger burned in his heart. He reached toward one of the elders with a shaking hand, but more blood poured from his mouth. Masek screamed his name in fear. Inside, Hua Mujin roared, "I will not die, damn it.